Hello and welcome to the Linux command line video series. In this video, we will look at the sed command that can help you make edits on files. Please help me out by hitting the subscribe button so I can have an excuse for not exercising. The sed program is a stream editor as opposed to VI, Emacs, Nano, etc., which are full visual editors. The main difference is that with sed, you are basically making changes to the lines of input text based on matching patterns using plain strings or regular expressions. With the full editors, you're able to make random changes to any part of the file. Potential uses of sed in digital forensics, incident response, and system administration is that you can massage log files to show you what you need to see. The basic syntax of sed is sed, followed by a command, and then the file that you want to operate the command upon. One of the most basic ways of using sed is to look at a file and print each line essentially matching all lines. So we can do sed single tick p, n single tick, and then etc password. This returns to the screen every line from the file, and the lines that match the pattern are also printed, so essentially twice. This is because by default, each line of input is echoed to the standard output after all of the commands have been applied to it. To suppress this behavior, we can use the -n option. So we do sed -n single tick p single tick / etc password. Now this returns to the screen just the lines that match the pattern we specified. Essentially the same output as using just the cat command on the file. Instead of the command print, we can use the equal sign to look at a file and then display line numbers before displaying the line. So if we do sed tick equals tick of /etc /password, this returns with each line prepended by its line number. So in this case, we can see that our etc password file contains 56 lines. We can specify line ranges from where sed can operate by specifying the range before the command. A range is basically two numbers separated by a comma. So if we do sed -n tick 18, 20 space print tick etc password, this will print out lines 18 through 20. As we saw before, if we don't specify the line range, sed will operate on the entire file. And if we specify just one number, then sed will operate only on that line. So if we do sed -n tick 50 space p tick /etc password, only line 50 of this particular file is printed. Line ranges can also take on shortcuts, like a $, which represent the last line. So if we do sed -n tick 48, $, space p tick etc password, this will print out lines 48 through the end of the file. The range selection can be reversed by the exclamation symbol. If we do sed -n tick 5, $, space exclamation p tick /etc password, this will print out everything except for line 5 through the end of the file, so essentially printing out only lines 1 through 4. We can also specify to print out every 10th line of a file by using the tilde symbol between the first line to start and then the number of lines to skip before printing again. So we can do sed -n tick 1 tilde 10 space p tick etc password. This is going to basically print line 1 and then skip 10 lines, which means it's going to print line 11, and then it's going to skip 10 lines again and print line 21, 31, 41, etc. until the end of the file. As you have noticed, a lot of these command structures is very similar to VI. So if you have VI mastered, then sed will be a breeze. One of the most common usages of sed is to use it to look for a pattern and then do something to that line. Let's say that we are interested in the lines of the password file that contains the word bash. We can use sed to just find those lines and then print them out. So we can use the /bash/ to look for the phrase bash, and then the letter P to print out that line. So we can do sed single tick /bash/ then P single tick etc password. So the /bash/ is basically to look for the phrase bash, and then the letter P is to tell it to print out that line once you found it. So this returns to the screen with every line from the file, and the lines that match the patterns are also printed. Again, essentially twice. This is because by default, each line of input is echoed to the standard output after all of the commands have been applied to it. And so to suppress this behavior, we can use the -n option. So we can do sed-n of tick /bash/ p tick etc password. Now this returns to the screen just the lines that match the pattern we specified. We can also match a pattern and print out a few lines after the match. So we can do sed tick /usb space device space found / comma +4 p tick /var/log/syslog. This returns to the screen the lines where the phrase USB space device space found was located, and then the 4 lines right after it. In this case, since we're looking at the system log, the extra 5 lines will give us the make, model, and possibly serial number for every USB device plugged into your Linux box. The next thing we can do is to substitute text on a line. Let's say that you want to change everyone's default shell from bash to Z shell in the etc password file. The command we can type is sed tick s/bash/zsh/tick space/etc password. The leading S is for substitute, and it will substitute the first phrase surrounded by delimiters, in this case the slash. And it will substitute it with the second phrase surrounded by the second and third delimiters. So as you can see in the output, there are a few lines which are now saying Z shell instead of bash where they were before. By default, the substitute command will only perform action on the first occurrence on the line. So if the line contains multiple occurrences of a string, then we will need to specify the G flag for global. So we'll do sed tick s/monkey/donkey/g tick /etc/password. So if we take a look at this, the very last line here, where it says blue monkey, now it says blue donkey. But this made 2 substitutions for the lowercase monkey to donkey, which is what we wanted. But let's take a further step and substitute all occurrences of monkey with either upper or lowercase. We can add the I flag for case insensitive. So now we have sed tick s/monkey/donkey/ig tick etc password. So now we can see that all instances of monkey with either the upper or lower cases have been changed to the word donkey. If we only want to change the second instance, we can use a number in the flags instead of the letter G. So if we up arrow and change that G to a number 2 and hit return, now we see that only the second instance of monkey has been changed to donkey. And if we use a number and the G as flags, then the substitution will happen from that number of occurrence onwards to the end. So if we do up arrow and add the G back in there, now we can see that the second and third instances of monkey have been changed to donkey. If the output of sed is what you are expecting, you can redirect it to a file so that it's saved. So we can do sed ticks s/bash slash zsh slash tick of etc password, and then redirect to password dash new. All right, this will write all the changes out to the password dash new file. Or we can make the changes to the original file with a -i option, which stands for in place edit. So basically we can do sed -i of tick s slash false slash capital true slash tick password new. So now if we look at password new, it's basically been changed. All of the falses have now been changed into capital true. I would personally avoid the -i option, as I always feel uncomfortable with modifying original files. However, if you can use the -i followed by an extension to create a backup, but I would still be careful. So you can do sed -i dot bkp tick s slash true slash perhaps slash tick password dash new. So now what we get is a file called password-new.bkp, which is the unedited version, and then password new is the edited version, which doesn't contain the words capital true, but contains the word perhaps. And let's double check to see what changes were made between the password-new and the password-new.backup file. So we're going to use a diff command to do a diff. And as we can see, only the lines that were changed are where the differences are. So this also shows us that the original file was backed up to password-new.bkp, and the changes were applied to password-new. Another command for sed is the delete command. We can specify to delete certain lines of the file. So if we do sed tick 1, 50 space d tick, then slash etc password, we're going to be presented with the remaining lines of the file, which is lines 51 through 56. We can also specify a pattern to match and then delete the lines that contain that pattern. So if we do sed tick slash false slash and then space d tick etc password, we're going to be left with just the lines that do not contain the string false. One of the more useful functions for sed is to remove any empty lines within certain files. To do that, we just specify the matching criteria to be slash caret $slash, which looks for the beginning of a line and then immediately the end of the line. So if we do sed tick slash caret $slash space d tick of tilde slash dot profile, where we can see that we're only left with lines that contain text. Let's continue that line of thinking and remove any lines with a comment, which starts with a pound symbol. Our matching criteria this time will be slash caret pound slash. So if we do sed tick slash caret pound slash space d tick tilde slash dot profile, what we're going to see is that all the lines that are commented are deleted. And I know that someone watching is shouting out loud, hey, let's do them both at the same time. So the way to do that is that we can either use a semicolon after each action. So we can do sed tick of slash caret pound slash space d semicolon, right? Because that ends the first command. Then we do the second search and command. So the second one is going to be slash caret $ slash d tick tilde slash dot profile. So now we're left with only lines that are non-blank and not commented. Or we can use the -e option for sed. So it's sed -e of tick slash caret pound slash d tick, right? So that's the first command that we wanted to execute. And then the second expression is going to be -e tick slash caret dollar slash space d tick tilde slash dot profile. And so once again, when we hit enter, we're only going to get lines back that are not empty lines and do not start with a pound symbol. In addition to substituting, sed can also append text when patterns are found. Let's say that we're looking through the password file and we want to annotate the file with comments based on our searches. So we do sed tick slash bash slash, and then the command will be I for insert. And then we have to put in the double quotes the text that we want to insert. So then we're going to put the pound, the user below can log in, double quote, and then the ending tick slash etsy slash password. So as you can see, the command I for insert will write text to the standard output before the line where the match is found. If you want to add the line after the pattern match, then use the A command for append. So we just do up arrow and change that letter I to the command A. And then we're going to change the text a little bit to say the above user can log in. And then once we hit enter, now we see that the text is added after the matching line. The standard delimiter that is used by most people is the /. If for some reason you want to use another symbol, all you need to do is just specify that symbol after the S for substitute command. So if you're looking to change the file paths in the Etsy password file and want to search for the string /user/sbin, you would need to escape the / with a \\. And since some people get confused with the whole escaping deal, you can just use another symbol for the delimiter so then you don't need to escape the /. The command we're going to use is sed tick s plus, right? So the plus is going to be our new delimiter. And then we're going to say just /user/sbin/ plus again for the second delimiter, /opt/bin in capital letters, and then plus again for the third and last delimiter, and then the ending tick, and then /etsy password. So once we hit return, basically what we're doing here is that we're substituting the string user sbin with opt bin, and we've avoided doing the escaping. Otherwise, this is what the command would look like. And like I said, some people don't care for it. Earlier in the substitution command, we used the I flag for ignore case. We can also use regular expressions to accomplish a similar thing. If we use brackets with both capital M and lowercase m for monkey, we can do the substitution. So we do sed tick s slash bracket capital M lowercase m end bracket onkey slash donkey slash g tick slash etsy slash password. So now when we hit enter, we see that all instances of monkey, whether they're upper or lowercase, have been changed to donkey. Let's take another look at using regular expressions by looking for lines with a single-digit user ID or group ID within the password file. The delimiters are colons in the password file, so we're going to look for any single digit as specified by the character class, bracket, bracket, colon, digit, colon, end bracket, surrounded by colons. So the command we're going to type is sed-n tick slash colon open bracket, colon, digit, colon, end bracket, colon, slash. And then P to print, and then tick slash etsy password. So once again, we're looking for colons surrounding a single digit. So once we hit enter, we can see that the users that have single digit user ID and also a line where the group ID has a single digit are now shown. Another example of using regular expressions is if we have a web server log and we just want to get a report of the IP addresses which have accessed the server. Looking at the sample access log file, we see that the IP address is the first field of each line. So if we use the sed substitute command to look for the beginning of a line, and then each octet, which is separated by a dot, what we're looking for is a pattern that looks like this. Sed tick s/caret for the beginning of the line, and then bracket, bracket, colon, digit, colon, end bracket, star, right? So that's 0 or more occurrences of the digit, and then followed by a dot. Next, we're going to surround that first octet with a set of backslash parentheses. What this is going to do is that it's going to define a region that we can reference later. Here is the escaped parentheses. And we're going to repeat this pattern 4 times for the 4 octets of the IP address. We will modify the last octet matching as there is no ending dot, but it's basically followed by a space instead. Then what we're going to do is match the rest of the line with the dot and then star to represent any character repeated 0 or more times. Then we're going to put the substitution string, which in this case, the word network underscore prefix colon, followed by the special back reference of \1 for the first match as defined by our backslash parentheses, then \2 and \3 for the second and third octets, and then the word host ID, and then finally our fourth defined region with \4. And again, we're going to read the access log. So once we hit enter, we're going to see this sed script basically filter out everything except for the network address and then the host ID. All right. So that brings us to the end of this video where we learned about the sed command, which can help make modifications within text files based on patterns or regular expressions. Hope you enjoyed it, and if so, click on the thumbs up icon to like this video. Please hit the subscribe button to get notified when the next video comes out. Also, please leave me messages in the comment section below so I know what you liked and didn't like, or what you may want to see in future videos. See you next time.